Good day guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video we are going to talk about while loop and do while loop, just like we discussed in our previous video about for loop. So while loop and for loop are the same thing. The only thing is just the configuration of it. So if you look at the code in the screen, this is our while loop. This is our while loop. You can see the configuration of the while loop is not the same with the for loop configuration, but it also does the same thing with the for loop. So when the condition is true, it will execute the code inside these curly braces. So once this condition is true, it will execute the code inside the curly braces, but when the condition is false, it exits from the loop. So in the for loop we initialize, then give our condition and update, but in while loop it is not like that. It is not done like that. You just give your condition, then if you want to update, you come to the code and update. Just like here I wrote I++. So what I did is just to declare a variable which is I, and I set it to equals to 0. So and I came to this while loop. Just mind the syntax, the uppercase and the lowercase. So this is sensitive to uppercase and lowercase, and we are using a lowercase w to write the y, and whenever you write it, the color will change. So this is the while loop. So I now gave a condition which is I less than 10 is I, which is 0. 0 is less than 10, so the condition is true. Then it will print this serial, it will print the I and then update it. So what I want to do here is just to print from 0 to 9. That is the aim of this code, just to print from 0 to 9. Then whenever we exit from this loop, then it will print. This is out of the loop. As you can see, this is out of while loop. It is used with a curly braces, opening and curly braces to show the body of the loop. So whenever we exit from this loop, it will print out of loop and delay, then recycle again. Okay, so let's go to our serial monitor. Let's go to our simulator to see how this while loop works. So let's go to our simulator, which is Proteus. So I will simulate it. I've already burned the code inside. So let's simulate and watch what is happening. So let it come up. You see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I just put a delay so you can see what is happening. You can see that we are out of the loop, so it's printing out of loop. So the condition is now false. That's why it's going out of the loop. It's not executing this thing all over again. That is why it's writing out of the loop, out of the loop, out of the loop, because we are out of the loop. So let me stop this simulation and also go back to show you another thing again. So like I said, after incrementing the I variable, which is the update here, remember the update is not inside this bracket, it is inside the code, the block of code. So that is how while loop syntax works. So after the increment, then whenever we reach to 10, we can say that 10 is not less than 10. That means this condition here is false, so it will not exit. That's what you are seeing is printing out of loop, out of loop. So this is how while loop works. So the code inside it get executed when the condition in it is true. So if the condition is false, it will exit the loop. And whenever we want to print an infinite loop, instead of putting condition here, we just put 1. Whenever we put 1 in this bracket, that means this thing will keep on recycling no matter what. It will be in infinite loop. So whenever you want to do something in infinite loop, just put 1 without condition. It will keep on recycle. So that is all about while loop. Then let's go to do while loop. So how the do while loop works? The way the do while loop works is that, remember, in this while loop, the while loop will first of all check the condition before let me just remove this comment, this multiple comment here. so that you see what I'm saying here. So I'm going to remove the multiple comment. So this is the do while loop. You can see this is do and this is while. That is called do while loop. And I will also show you the syntax on how to write do while loop. So unlike while loop, the compiler will first of all check the condition before executing the code inside here. But in do while loop, it does not work like that. The compiler will first of all execute the code inside the block of code. It will execute this code before checking the condition. So that is why it is called do. Then it will first of all do this one. That is why it is called do while loop. It will first of all execute the code, then before coming down here to check the condition. And another thing, watch the syntax here. You will see that in this here we write while and use a semicolon. If you do not use a semicolon, you will get an error. So whenever you are using do while loop, after writing the do and writing your code, then come down here and write while loop and end it with a semicolon. If not, you will get an error, right? So watch this do while loop. The code is inside our opening and closing curly brace. Then the while loop comes after the closing curly brace, right? So the compiler will first of all execute this code. It will execute this code, then now come to check the condition. So if the condition is true, it will go back and continue executing the code. But if the condition if this condition is not true, it will come out of this do while loop. So that is how do while loops works. So let me comment this one and show you how the do while loop works. So give me a minute. Let me comment this part so we can see how do while loop works. So we'll come to here. Alright, so that we can be able to use other method. So we are going to work with the do while loop now. So what happened now is that the compiler will I will first of all show you how the do while loops work before doing any changes. So what is going on here? The compiler will first of all print this I, and this I is 0. So the compiler will print the 0. I just commented the update. This is the update part. I just commented it so that we will not update the variable. Then later I will show you the reason why I did that. So the compiler will come first and execute this part of code. It will execute this code, then it will come to check the condition. So the condition is that is 0 and greater than 10, which is false. So it will not repeat this thing again. It will now come to this part and say out of loop. So let's compile it and see what do while loop does. So I'm going to compile it. So it's done compiling. Let me copy the hex file and go to our simulator. So the code is done compiling. This is our hex file. I will copy it. Then go to our simulator. Alright, then let's simulate. You can see what is happening now. The compiler first of all is it print out the 0 which is in the do while loop. It print out the 0 and now went to check the condition and saw that the condition is false. It now print out of loop. The reason why you are seeing this in recycling is because you are in void loop. If there is any other code below it, you won't see this thing. It will continue executing code under it. But because this is the only code we have in the void loop, that's why it is repeating, right? So the compiler will first remember what happened in the while loop. The compiler printed it as 0 to 9, as if we are counting from 0 to 9, right? But here the compiler will first of all print the 0, then I went and go and check the condition and saw that the condition is false. It will now print out of loop. So let me do some changes here now. Now we are back in our code. So what I will do now is that I will change this condition here. So I will say less than I will use less than. This I will say is 0 less than 10, which is true. So I will remove this comment here. So what will happen is that once the compiler executes this code, once the compiler first prints 0, it will now go to check the condition, and is 0 less than 10, which is true. So the compiler will go to this do while loop again and update it by 1, because we say I++, it will add 1 to the 0, so that it will print it like from 0 to 9. Okay, so let me save it and compile it so you will see what I'm trying to say here. So the code is done compiling. So let me copy the hex file. This is the hex file. So this is the hex file. Let me copy the hex file and go to our simulator. Right. So this is our code. Then I'll press OK. Then I'll simulate. So watch what is going on. You see, it will print out 0, then it will start printing 1, 2, 3, because the condition that we gave is true. That is why it's printing it from 0 to 9. And whenever the condition became false, it will start printing out of loop. You can see the condition is now false. It's now printing out of loop. The reason why you are seeing all these things is because of, like I explained, we are in void loop. You understand? And the reason why it is incrementing 10, 11 and above what we said is because it is doing the code inside the do, and you know the code inside the do is just to update, right? That is why whenever it executes the code inside the do part and go and check the condition, and it will see the condition is false, it will write out of loop and go back to do again, because the do will first of all execute before checking the condition. And remember, now after printing up to 9, our condition became false. But the reason why you see it's still printing 12, 13 and all those things is because it is doing the job of do. It will execute the do part and go and check the condition. So but if we comment that update, the increment part, you won't be seeing all these things. And if you watch what is happening now, is whenever it print 21, it will say out of loop, 22 out of loop, because it is not printing it sequentially, because the condition is false. It's just doing the job of do because of the increment in that do part. I hope you understand this video. So thank you guys for watching this video. See you in our next video. Bye.